Hey everyone, welcome back to Mama Gina's Mompreneur podcast. So excited to have you today. But moms, have you ever sat down to work determined to be productive, only to realize an hour has passed and everything except the thing you were meant to do? You've checked your emails, but you didn't respond to any. You just happened to be on social media and got lost scrolling. I know I've done that. You suddenly remember the laundry, the dishes, and 5 other things. By the time you look at your to-do list, your work is untouched, the kids are home, and now you're behind again. That's exactly where we start today. Cindy Baker used to be and is an entrepreneur with ADHD. She understands the frustration, feeling busy, but never actually getting things done. But instead of relying on strict time blocking and unrealistic schedules, Cindy's developed a simple, effective system that works with your brain, not against it. Today, she's sharing her F.O.C.U.S, F.O.C.U.S system and 5 simple strategies to cut distraction and take back control of your productivity. We'll get started in just a moment. Mamas, welcome to Mama Gina's podcast, where real stories meet real solutions for mompreneurs just like you. I'm Michelle DeKaiser, a mom of 3, entrepreneur, and your biggest cheerleader as you navigate the chaos of motherhood and business. Ever felt overwhelmed trying to grow your business while juggling school drop-offs, sports practices, everything in between? You're not alone. In just 15 minutes or less, we'll dive into relatable struggles, expert insights, and practical strategies you can actually use to build the life and business you love. Because you don't have to do this alone. Let's do motherhood and entrepreneurship together. Let's jump in. And we're going to welcome Cindy Baker to the stage, who again will show us the F.O.C.U.S system. She's a wife, grandmother, and dog mom. When she's not coaching, she loves singing and church choir and spending time outdoors. Welcome to the stage, Cindy. We're so excited to dive into this concept of procrastination and losing concept of everything that we're doing. Thank you. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
And so just as we do with, we're keeping this short, diving straight, let's just dive straight into what goes on when we lose focus and how do we take that back?
Yeah, you touched on it. I mean, you have this thing right here, phone, and you say, well, I'm just going to, take a few minutes to check my email, and 30 minutes passes and you're watching puppy yoga videos on YouTube, and that's the way it happens. And when you talk about taking back your time, every unplanned break like that one, each little tiny bit of procrastination, you're actually not just giving away your time, but you're giving away your dreams. And the reason people don't reach their goals is that they lose track of those little in between, check my phone here, get distracted there. And so that's why I decided to try to manage my attention and my focus more than my time, because we don't need more hours in the day. We just need to manage our focus.
So repeat that one more time, manage our focus and attention.
Yeah. So a lot of people will say, well, if I just had more hours in the day. We don't need more hours in the day. We don't even really need time management. We just need to manage our focus and do what really matters in the time that we have. And then you can build the life that you want.
I love that so much because it really comes back to really the focus of everything. We're always saying, oh, we don't have enough time, but it really is that focus and attention to it. Let's just repeat that one more time, that you're giving away your dreams. Mm-hmm. And when we really put that into perspective, it really, puts it right here. And it's really about those feelings that we want more of. We want to feel those dreams. We want to feel the success of it. We want to feel the love and the joy that we give to the world. So we're going to dive down into the practicality of how to actually put that into place, because I know you have a great system for us today. Yeah. And us mompreneurs with all the kids running around, how do we get that focus back?
Yeah, and it's not as difficult as you would think. So the focus system is really 3 steps. Find your energy zone, organize your tasks, and then commit to using sprints. That's what focus stands for. So everybody has natural energy cycles. And, if you're a young mom with like babies, your sleep is all messed up. And so you have to figure out, when am I the most mentally alert, physically awake, That's when you want to do your high impact tasks, your most important things during the peak energy cycles. And so you track those. Take a 2 or 3 days, kind of jot down some notes throughout the day. When am I feeling, like rocket fuel? When am I feeling like molasses? Because we all have different energy cycles.
And I know it always like kind of seems like, oh, the morning is always the most productive, best time, but that isn't true for everyone. So what are some of those key things that we should be, you said when you feel like rocket fuel and molasses, can you be a little bit more specific on what we should be taking notes on? Because I know some people might want, for me, it's like, oh, I kind of have an idea, but like how tracking for me always like, I start to get that brings a fear in me. So
yeah, and that's why I don't have any, I could give you a template and have it all organized, but really, if you just jot down on a pad of paper throughout the day, maybe set an alarm if you need to for every hour, and on the hour, every hour, just jot down how you're feeling, and then go back and kind of look at it and see if there's some patterns. And so, if your mood is dipping or you're forgetting things, that's probably not your peak energy zone. But if your brain is just firing off, you're thinking of ideas, you're mentally alert, that's more of a peak energy zone. So for me, morning is when I'm more mentally alert, especially with coffee. But in the afternoon, not as much. So I wouldn't want to do writing or something that requires deep concentration in the late afternoon, because I'm getting kind of hungry for dinner. I'm tired. It's not my best time. So you have to just pay attention to that. So it doesn't have to be real complicated. And then you have to pick your tasks. There's a great illustration. I didn't make it up, but picturing your life like a jar, and your tasks are big rocks, pebbles, and sand. And if you put the sand in first, the little things like the email, the meetings, the social media, that's going to fill up the jar. And then when you try to put the big rocks in, which are your most important tasks, they're not going to fit. And some of that sand's going to spill out. Same with the pebbles, which are the smaller tasks. So put the big rocks in first. And
we'll be right back to discuss that in just a moment. Are you a speaker or expert struggling to get your message in front of busy mompreneurs? You have valuable knowledge to share, but let's be real. Most moms don't have an hour to sit through long trainings. They need quick, actionable solutions that fit into their day. That's where the Mama Genius Hub comes in. Inside the Hub, I'll help speakers like you turn your expertise into a streamlined mini course, not long lectures, but 5 bite-sized sections in just 1 to 5 minutes long, with simple workbook pages or implementation steps that mom can actually complete in 15 minutes or less, mom time. Not only does this format make your content more accessible, but it helps you reach, engage, and impact mompreneurs in a way that actually fits into their lives. Plus, as a Hub speaker, you'll be part of our Speaker Women's Circle, where we collaborate, refine our messages, and support each other in growing our audiences and income. We'll lift each other up both mentally and financially. Come to connectingmamas.com to see if it's the right fit for you. Once again, come to connectingmamas.com. So again, we're looking at the big rocks, the pebbles, and the sand. And so the sand is that those distractions, that email, all of that.
Yeah. What most people do is they start with that. And then because we do, we want the path of least resistance. So we look at our to-do list and we're like, this is important, but I don't feel like doing that right now. And so I'm just going to check my email, or, we do the easier things, and those are not always the most important. So every day, at the end of the day, write down your 3 most important things that you need to accomplish the next day. So that way you don't spend half your morning figuring out what you're going to do. You've already predetermined it. And then knock those out first, because then if you don't even get anything else done, you've still won, because you've got your 3 most important things done. Now, if you're a business owner, which you said a lot of your listeners are starting a business, then the majority of your time working on your business needs to be revenue producing activities. So it might be more fun and easy to spend 2 hours on Canva getting the perfect font or colors picked out, but that isn't going to move the needle in your business. And it might be harder to write marketing copy or make sales calls, but that's more important. So you have to you find your energy zone, you organize your tasks according to priority, and then you commit to using sprints. And that's where the magic comes in. You take your first rock and, wait till the baby's asleep and then set a timer, put away all distractions and work on that one thing, 30, 60, 90 minutes. 90 minutes is what you want to work up to, but sometimes it's not possible with kids, but you do what you can. No, it's like you're tricking your brain, because your brain, if you've got all this extra time, you're going to waste it. But if you know, I've only got 30 minutes, that's it. And then the timer's going to go off, and you get started on it. And you have to act, even if you don't feel like it, because the momentum will kick in as you do it. And then when the timer goes off, you take a break, and you just do that for several cycles. And with kids, you have to figure out, you have to work around their schedule. So if you have school-age children, if you're sitting in the carpool line, that's 20 minutes that you could use effectively, rather than sitting there and just scrolling on your phone, So plan your tasks out ahead of time and know when you're going to have those little pockets of time, and go ahead and decide ahead of time how you're going to use them. And that's not to say that you don't get to do anything fun. I mean, when you get your 5-minute break, you can watch puppy yoga videos or whatever you want to do, But so you plan the downtime too. But that's pretty much it. It just takes some practice, but you'd be amazed at how much more productive you'll be.
Okay, I have to pause right there, because when we were in the green room before we were recording or anything, you're like, I don't know how we're going to get through all this in 15 minutes. And we're already before the mark. Just give that clarity of productivity, of how we can use our time more effectively when we are intentional. And so I love how you're bringing the rocks to the table. And that is exactly what I need to do, is the night before, write out the rocks, because half of your morning is spent, what are my rocks?
Yeah. And that's in my coaching program. That's one of the things that I help entrepreneurs with, is clarity. And that's one of the reasons people are not successful in business, is that they're all over the place. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs that have ADHD. And if they don't learn how to rein in that focus, then they focus on too many things, and so you have to have that clarity, and it just takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of intention. And it isn't going to be perfect every day, and that's okay. You're going to get interruptions, but you have to be able to pivot quickly back to what you were supposed to be doing.
I love that. And we're going to put you back on stage for a couple takeaways right now, because we've come into time soon. We're going to keep to schedule. So listen to that, how much we got done in less than 15 minutes already. And let me give you the 5 takeaways to remind you of how we're going to focus and put more intention in. So number 1 is, we were just talking about taking your time back, the way we think about it. It's the tiny bits of how you manage your focus and attention. Instead of saying, I need more time, figure out how you can manage your focus and attention. And so that brings us to number 2, to the actual focus system, in 3 parts. So the first part is finding your energy zone. And I love how she said, just put a timer for 3 days or so, and just remind you at the end of the hour, what was my mood? How was I feeling? And then what I can do to really monitor that. And then I can start trying my best to plan out when I'm going to do these sprints that are coming up. That takes to takeaway number 3, which is really thinking about that jar, right? We always want to put the sand in with the email and all those things first, but really, what are your 3 rocks, right? What are your 3 rocks? And figuring out from the day before, as you write them down, what are those? So first thing in the morning, you're like, I'm doing this one here, I'm doing this one here, and I'm doing this one here, which then takes away takeaway number 4 is that we're going to be doing those sprints. We're going to put that timer on, and this is my time for rock number 1. This is my time for rock number 2. And it may even be in the carpool lane that I'm going to be able to have my notebook or things to me. If I'm just sitting there not doing much and I'm waiting, I can use that time if it fits with my energy cycle. And then that takes away to number 5 is that we also do take breaks. and celebrate that we're doing these things and we take those breaks, that we do have that in our days, not just all the productivity and everything. And then to bring in that clarity as we start to get clarity about the things we're going to do. So Cindy, first of all, tell us how people can get a hold of you. And I believe you have a free gift for everyone as well.
Yeah, I do. It's actually a little mini course on how to beat procrastination. So that fits in perfectly with what we've been talking about. It's at waitnomore.net. And my website is cindybakercoaching.com. I'm on Instagram as CBC_Cindy Baker Coaching. I have a free Facebook group, Productivity for Profits. And I go in there at least once a week with free training on all things productivity. So I would love to, I'll give you the links to those. But yeah, you can follow me on all the socials and I'll give you the links to give out. But waitnomore.net is how they can get the free course.
And now that we've gone through all the takeaways and everything, what is your final call to action to all these moms to where to start with getting our attention back to focus?
Yeah, I think just a parting word would be to be kind to yourself, because if you beat yourself up, it's going to hinder your progress. And so many times we're too hard on ourselves when we want to be further along than we are. But if you will look back even a month ago and look at the progress and then celebrate that. So reward yourself for the win, small things. I always say, would you talk to your friend the way you're talking to yourself? And if you did, would they still be your friend? And a lot of times the answer is no. So being a mom is, there's nothing greater. So you need to, just know that you're doing one of the most important jobs in the world. And that needs to be your main focus. And so that's where I would start.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Cindy. And I love that final word of advice. Let's give ourselves a little bit more grace, and we'll see you in the next episode. That's a wrap for today's episode. I hope this gave you something valuable to take with you, because even small steps make big differences. If you're a speaker or an expert and you want to reach more busy mompreneurs without overwhelming them with long trainings, I'd love to help create something powerful inside the Mama Genius Hub. We will make it easier to streamline your message into quick, high-impact lessons that truly fit mom time. Come to connectingmamas.com to see if it's the right fit for you. Once again, come to connectingmamas.com. Before you go, make sure to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. And if today's conversation spoke to you, share it with another mompreneur who needs to hear it. See you next time.